What's up, guys? We're back with probably the biggest fight on the card Saturday night. We got a battle of top middleweight contenders. We got Marvin Vettori taking on Robert Whittaker. Both these guys are, the elite in the division behind Adesanya and possibly Alex Pereira, depending on how that fight plays out between those two. But both of these guys only really losing to Israel Adesanya, taking out the rest of the contenders pretty cleanly. Marvin Vettori, he's 18-5, got 2 wins by KO, TKO, 9 by sub, and 7 by decisions. Never been finished in his career. As we know, watching Marvin Vettori, he has a hell of a chin. Always takes crazy shots. Took a head kick clean from Paulo Costa and barely even wobbled him at all. I mean, really didn't even wobble him. Take a look at his record. See that win over Paulo Costa, that loss to Izzy. Solid wins over Kevin Holland, Jack Hermanson, and then the competition's a little bit less stiff. Carl Roberson, Andrew Sanchez, Cesar Ferreira. Robert Whittaker definitely fought the best of the best in the middleweight division. Before the Adesanya fight, which he did pretty well in that fight, definitely won a round or two. I would say I could probably give him 2 rounds in that fight versus Izzy. Win over Kelvin Gastelum, Jared Cannonier, Darren Till, who at that time it was a good win. Till has kind of fell off lately, but just those 2 losses to Adesanya, those 2 crazy wars defending this title versus Yoel Romero, went over Jacare Brunson. So, I mean, went through murderer's row in the middleweight division and was able to get it done against everyone except for Adesanya. 23-6, 9 wins by KO, TKO, 5 by sub, and 9 by decision. Being KO'd twice in his career, most recently in 2019 to Adesanya. As far as how this fight's going to play out, I think it's probably going to go to a decision. Vettori has a hell of a chin, and Whittaker's as tough as they come. And Vettori doesn't have, amazing knockout power, only 2 knockouts in his career. So I think it's pretty safe to say this fight will go to decision. As far as how it's going to play out, though, I think Whittaker definitely sharper with his striking. Vettori's no slouch and has shown proven the striking his career has gone on. I think Whittaker's definitely sharper. Where Marvin does have an advantage, I think, is in the grappling. I know he's a really big, physically imposing guy for the weight division. He always seems to be the bigger guy in the cage versus everyone he's fought. Besides that last fight versus Paulo Costa, when Costa came in like 20 pounds overweight, and still Vettori was able to handle him pretty easily. See, the striking stats are very similar between these two guys. Really, not a whole lot of difference between. I mean, almost virtually identical with the striking. As far as the grappling, this is where Vettori really takes the edge. 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, the 45% accuracy. Whittaker gets close to 1 takedown per fight, 35% accuracy, 83% takedown defense. So Whittaker has no slouch when it comes to his takedown defense. It'll be a question of how often will Marvin shoot, or is Marvin going to be able to get Whittaker trapped against the cage and control him, and then work from to get maybe a trip takedown or something like that? I don't think there's going to be a takedown like a shooting out in space or anything like that, but maybe getting Whittaker backed up, trapped against the fence, into the clinch, and then from there maybe getting a trip or grinding from the takedown from there. I think if it stays on the feet and Marvin's not able to implement any grappling, I think Whittaker is sharper and should win. But you have to question, the hunger of Whittaker. Does he still want to get back to that title? He's 31, been through a lot of wars. He's looked sharp lately, but Vettori always hungry. You can tell every time he fights that he's hungry and wants that belt. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I think I'm going to go against the grain here. I actually think that I'm going to lean Marvin Vettori in this matchup. I know everyone's going to think that's a little crazy, and that Robert Whittaker is the clearest, next guy in the division after Adesanya. But I like Vettori. I like his style. I think he's really tough, and I think he's well rounded everywhere. And I think he's on the come up right now. He's 28 years of age, so that's going to be my pick. I am going to go with Marvin Vettori, and if Whittaker wins this fight, then I was wrong, and Whittaker, he's a hell of a fighter, so it should be a great matchup. And looking forward to watching this one play out. How do you guys think the fight's going to play out, and who are you taking in this matchup and why? All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys next video.